I can't get somebody mad who's already mad. Like, I don't know. It just struck me. I heard somebody just like in random scrolling be like, I'm just like scrolling and I'm getting ready for doing I gotta like be getting work done. What the fuck, man? It's so hard. It's so hard. Like, I'm doing like 10 things. I'm doing like 14 different things right now at once. Fuck. And it's part of it. It's part of my madness. I'm learning how to meditate. I'm alright. It's Saturday. Hey. so that's it, right? So like I'm just chilling at the water. Thinking about love. I wanna like do like I've got a whole ass list. 101 in my class. So I love my ADHD for spirituality. No shit get past me. I'm way too easily distracted. And I could hold the energy. Like, I could hold them prayers. I could hold that. And still notice and grab the brujeria straight out of the sky almost. That's how it feels sometimes. I don't care. I don't say it. And I think it's a blessing for us to admit our shortcomings from whatever it is. Like what society calls a shortcoming is actually like perfect for survival of certain people, right? For certain life experiences. So, and that's my madness. Like there's a method to my madness that nobody can. It's irreplaceable. It's indubitably. I don't know where that's coming from. It's what the heck even is that word? Two on the clock. You just can't copy it because I'm like, and I have autism. I'm autistic and I have ADHD, and I have complex trauma. This shit's so complex. The healing of it, I had to morph into like a new person every 6 months for about a decade. Talking about shit, ego burn after. The universe was like, go outside and get a switch. You wanna act like that? I had to pay so many lessons. It brought me here with you today. I have such a unique bloodline. I have such a beautiful connection to people and places all over the world. And that's just in my bloodline. And my cultures, the different cultures I was raised around, demographics, the unique different families, and the family I never met, like my Jehovah's Witness family in Puerto Rico, but then my Puerto Rican family in the States that stayed Catholic. Hi guys, love you guys. And my mom's family, the Sefrans, they're German and Czech. But my mom isn't German. The man who raised her was. Yeah, my mom's dad was Italian from central Italy. And that would be why I got along, I think so, with so many of others of you. Hi guys, I love you guys. Hi everybody. And the Sefran's influence, and that influence that just through the generations and the demographics, and also like the time that I spent with my father when he was alive, in different phases of his life too. Especially, I basically was born and I karmically collapsed my dad's entire empire. And the worse he treated women, the worse everything got for him. He was a womanizer. and a pedophile. Nobody knew that though, because he was also good. Supposedly, like, he'll take the shirt off his back. I mean, I've seen him kind, holding space, giving everything away. And money came and went to him. He loved to see people happy, but he indulged. Took pride in that. So talented. Such a beautiful man. Bodybuilder. Married my dad, Jackie. She loved me. So I love her too. They provided me a wonderful life. My dad cheated on his wife with my mother. And his wife, Jackie, she couldn't have kids. So she forgave him and raised me for my first 5 years. That's my son. He's playing VR. So and then, like, when my dad kept on cheating on my dad, Jackie, she raised me in the family, like in my Puerto Rican family, as my mom. Basically, my mom was very young. She was 22 when she had me. She was working, just a young woman. My dad was older and more established. And he was back with his wife, and I was home. I was home at Papi's house. So then my mom got pregnant with my sister. And my dad, Jackie, couldn't take that anymore. She didn't deserve that. She took me in and raised me as her own. And so I had to go live at my mom's. Most of my mom's family is neurodivergent. I don't care what anybody says. So, and that's where my Auntie Tanya was. Auntie Tanya was basically the one who was with her most of the time. And my sister, she's 4 years younger than me, my stinky little sister. There's the bloodline connections, then the spiritual connections. And then as I got older, I started, like, having children with people. Wasn't watched over. Shit. Some clown child support come. Nope, you're not around. Not how to sound till you write it down. Renegade. Pockets full of lint, not a cent. Right. Pockets full of hope. What? That shit, that's the song. Well, I just think that it's wonderful how you can find yourself in a spot, in a place in the world. Where it all makes sense. And the things just become clearer and clearer. I couldn't have survived those things without my neurodivergencies. No way I would have survived it. I feel like it was made for this world. And I think I was made for my life too. And I don't regret a fucking thing. And if you know, you know. I was crazy when I was young, but it was because I was highly protected. I was loved like a princess for my first 5 years of my life, and even afterwards. My dad got kicked out of my dad's house when she divorced him. And my grandma Busha, like, my dad, Jackie, was Polish. My grandma, so I know I'm saying grandma. So my Busha, my dad, Jackie's mom, she raised me, Betty. Rest in peace. So I inherited my sense of wealth. of self. They loved and supported everything about me. And I'm grateful I got that time with my family, with my Puerto Rican family. If it was going to be any 5 years of my life, I think the first 5 years of life, yeah, I mean, I know that I worked in a daycare for years, studying to become a nurse. I was a teen mom. I had to take, classes on children and development. I had to learn. I've been changing things for a long time. Because of my neurodivergence, I couldn't just stand for it. I had an inherent need, a drive for justice. I had to figure out the right way. It didn't make any sense. Nothing made fucking sense. But I figured it out. Because everybody around was saying it's impossible, everything's impossible. My dreams, the things I would talk about were ridiculous. Everybody was busy, everybody had their minds on something else. Like, what the fuck are these strange ideas you're talking about? That's very all good and nice and everything, but what? Like, poetry? Like, where's this world? Like, we're busy. Everybody's busy. So I grew up knowing that it was wrong, because my first 5 years I was treated so well. And then the rest of my life, there was a pointedness about it, about the separation, because I'm strange and unusual. And I was spoiled rotten, even though I was a child of wedlock. And I was blessed with an angel of a stepmom, but actually she just took me in and loved me. So let that, everybody saw that. The best godparents in the world. My dad thought he'd picked really well. That was his older brother, sister-in-law. So, but he spiraled, his life fell apart, he had me. And I karmically, I don't know, I've always just caused so much change ever since it seems like I was born, to rattle everything up. To be a maker of change for the divine feminine in the way that we define love for one another. When my baby's dad impregnated other women almost every year after Haley was born, for the first 2 children, I was there helping raise those kids, and those moms were helping me too, and we were learning on how to deal with the kind of abuse that we were dealing with. Changing things, changing cycles, changing. In my 20s, I found spirituality through my sister. My dad used to lecture me, God, only God, only God. No, nothing else does. Don't mess with spirituality in any way. Only God, only God. And I was heavily, my mom's side of the family, and my dad Jackie's side of the family was Catholic. I was raised in the Catholic Church too. And on my white side of the family, and on the Spanish side of the family in Puerto Rico, that was Jehovah, but they came often to visit. And we had some Jehovah Witness family too in Illinois. When Papi used to take me sometimes. And I was studying all the time Christianity. There was a strange bus that used to pick us up and take us to Indiana. And I used to take my Auntie Tanya and my sister, and we'd go on this strange bus with a bunch of kids in the hood and go to this big mega church. Yo, the shit that used to go down, what? Auntie Tanya used to go with us, for real. We're kids. We were together. She was there with us. And the influence of the city and the freedom of the L train and public services and stuff, in such a crowded place, was very resourceful. I was very resourceful. Then I had to learn how to live in the quiet when I went up to Woodstock. I could hardly, you guys see how much I have to talk to fill the space of quiet? But now I need the quiet. Back then I was scared. It was too quiet, it was silent. When you're raised in a city, you get used to the sound of somebody upstairs and downstairs. I don't know, it seems like all these years were just meant to break layers and layers off of me. To bring me back to this point of loving every part of me that always made me feel apart. Like, I had to be ripped out of those places. And change is hard for somebody with ADHD and autism. And I was forced to go through those things. And I prayed, and I asked that I would be a vessel of light. And it was always, my grandma had a crystal ball on the table. There were pictures of orbs. My grandmother was Czech. She said we're gypsies. We have gypsy in our blood. Okay, Grandma. So, Bohemian before it was the Czech Republic. So, it's just in my blood, and I'm from the island. Like, I'm just first generation here, from Puerto Rico, and I have that blood. I have Spain. I have blood from Spain, Portugal, and indigenous Puerto Rico, like a little tiny bit, but that's all from my Puerto Rican blood. All rooted, and I was torn and ripped away and basically ostracized from my family. But that's alright, because it turns out that I had to learn about the way that Christianity is also like cultish. And I had to find my own worth there, and I had to, like, everything was all about finding my own worth and loving myself and fighting on and on and on and not listening to those people and questioning things all the time just to make it here. And forcing me to look within myself and to change those things for my baby Haley. I didn't have love for myself, you know. But in order to love her, I kept hitting these walls where, like, I couldn't love her more because I couldn't get her out of these environments because I couldn't align with anything better. So I had to elevate and raise and ego death after ego death. But being how neurodivergent I am and with my pattern recognition, I just have to take it and feel it and release it. I didn't know. Everybody called me so crazy. Nobody stayed with me. People tried to control me so much, and I kept going. And I got my spiritual training because that's part of my past life, like just knowledge and knowing, aligning with my godmom. My dad always told me, only God, only God. And when my sisters got her collages with my godmom, I was like, you shouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. And then I had a dream. And when I woke up from that dream, I was determined to go because I recognized what's right for me. Just like that, I just switched it. Like the ego just, fuck it. Like I just knew it. It's just like a frequency of knowing. Like a pattern of a recognition of the pattern of myself, of what is mine. That is mine. This is it. You know, that's how those full body changes work. And so I started studying with my godmother, and over many years I got my Mano de Orula, my warriors, Rayada, finally I made Santos. Oh, wow. My godmom trained me in the kitchen, and my godmom's Puerto Rican and Mexican. I grew up in a Mexican household. So my godmom, I grew up in a Mexican neighborhood. Many of my family members are also Mexican, married, and on my mom's side and also my dad's side, I think so. Yeah, I have many Mexican family members on Papi's side too. My Tio Andy's family, for starters. I have many memories there. So also, why is my family and my childhood and my teenage years and my whole life so imprinted in my mind as if it's all happening now? People think I'm in nostalgia and I don't get over the past, but it's all right now. And I use it all right now. Otherwise, I just don't live in the same way others do. The way I experience life is I had to have a fulfilling inner world, and I use my gifts, like spiritual gifts, of being everywhere and nowhere all at once. Being the one who ruined my dad's life after he ruined so many women's lives. And I'm telling you, I must have been a womanizer in my past life. And maybe even even men, some of them, maybe. Was a lover, maybe like my dad or something, and I had to pay all that karma. I believe that. But many beliefs, things that help me accept my experience, make me feel peaceful at one. And it wasn't until I started trying to read tarot on that. Like, I started knowing about ADHD because of my son, because the school was like, couldn't take care of him. And all the other kids in the same way. And he was starting to recognize the patterns of the bells, even in first grade and second grade. And he was getting in trouble at the exact moments, so he wouldn't have to be in the crowded lunchroom with everybody at once. And he was starting to trick those teachers. They were angry. They wanted to medicate him, and I started homeschooling him right before COVID because I couldn't put him on meds so young. But I started learning about ADHD and all that. And then when he started really like flapping his arms and stuff at the end of the time we were in Florida, and my symptoms were starting, Haley left, and change is hard, so hard for me. That was big. When she had to go on with her life, the best thing you can do for your children is let them go. That's what I had to do with Mia right away. And now you did that with Haley. And I'm so proud of her. And I know she's proud of me too. So, and I changed all of that, and I even had to testify against my dad after he was still a friend to the family. I was his baby, my dad. He was the only one who could calm me down. I was spoiled, rotten. I was his oldest. He thought his wife couldn't have kids. He was spoiled by all the women in his life, too. And men liked him because he was fun and he had money. And he was powerful and also beautiful, that fucker. He is so charismatic, puppy. I still love him, even though it's so strange. Abuse survivors, so complex. But lots of it is still, not in my memory, you know? But when something terrible happened to my little cousin, that's a big story. I don't feel like my answer it, but I had to say what he did to me, too. I had to say the truth when the police questioned me. I was 12. And that was the year I met Haley's father, too, guys. There was a lot going on. So, and immediately after Poppy left, not even a few years went by, and my mom cheated on my dad. And he became an alcoholic because he lost his wife and his woman and his kids. And his whole life went down. He started living in the boiler room of 20 apartment building, a brick building. Mr. Kowalski's buildings, you know, and there were two buildings. My dad was the maintenance man, and he lived in the boiler room, and he set up the whole boiler room. He had a hammock in the corner, a bed, griddles and stuff. We just ate. My dad was a bodybuilder, so he also had another section of the basement. It's a huge basement of this 20 flat brick building, the boiler room, and he had all of these weights and everything and stuff. So I spent a lot of time with him. Mommy just let us go over there, as much as we wanted. And she got with my stepdad, and I was always strange and unusual. Change is hard for me. I question everything and all that. And I just, nobody knew how I was, why I was always like this. So I didn't go on like the trips and stuff. I just stayed a lot of the time with my dad or where I could be helpful or useful. And it went on and it went on. And I've had to stand up for so many of the women in my mom's side of the family getting beat on by these men. Shit. I had to learn the hard way how to love women. And I come into my dad's life also to teach him. He lost everything to alcoholism. And he had everything. And the one person that he loved, my dad loved me. He cried for me. And I was the only person who could scream at him. He beat on my mom. He was a womanizer. And he beat on my mom. He didn't beat on my dad, Jackie, though. And he didn't beat on me. Like, he used to spank me when I was a kid. I'd get the belt, whatever, but that was different. Yeah. So I've been so many places in my life and times. But we're alone now. And I'm telling my stories to you. And I think that I couldn't have dealt with all that trauma, or even still deal with it now, or even, I just feel like learning about my neurotype is really bringing everything together rather nicely. I'm going on this tangent, And I'm supposed to be like, it's just I have to get this out. Like, I have to say these things I have to do it. I might as well say I need to do my other things. And all of that, I did pray the whole time with my whole being. Just let my thought and flat, I had to learn autonomy very, very hard. Why was it so hard? I would go in and out of different types of jobs and everything, and I would have these crazy stories, and people would never believe me. You have no idea how many times I've almost died. I've had 17 cars, and I think like 5 car accidents I can just like name off the top of my head right now. So it's crazy, guys. And how I was getting beat on all those years too by Ike. It's crazy, right? And how could I stay happy? Because I don't think linearly, so I can connect to any time that I was feeling good. And because I can see patterns, and spiritually I see a person for their higher self. And because I've been so battered and bruised, so put down, and had to be led by my higher self, it's not hard for me to see in others. And because I was raised by my Aunt Tanya, I'll so much of the time spending all that time with her. Learn how to speak without speaking so young. Had somebody to be there with me and not sometimes have to talk about the sorrow and stuff of missing the place where I was valued instead of devalued and dismissed most of the time. So, but at the same time, I feel so close to my elders. I used to have these conversations and stuff, so many of them. Danced with all that freedom I had as the oldest and also raising, always when my sister was always with me. My dad was always drunk. I was just watching over whoever the fuck and getting whatever I wanted. I was running all that. I've always been, had my hand in everything, protecting everybody in my way. I'm here to protect us. I'm here for that. I know that. And I prayed to do it. And I prayed that I may be a vessel of light. So, and I feel like I just thought it was like the spiritual thing. And I thought I would open a YouTube, but I couldn't. I had to get rid of all those addictions. And I had to learn how to live without Haley. And without anyone. Like, not even 6 months after I got an apartment in Florida, my sister and her husband moved an hour away. So Willie and I were just in Florida, stranded, with no car. I gave Haley my car. She was in boot camp in the military, and I felt she needed it more than us. There was public transportation in Florida at that time. So, and when I was in Florida, I got to be with my sisters in-laws so much. They're Colombian. That was a good time of my life. So many wonderful Mexican influences. My godmom teaching me the ways of my culture, even though my family in my older years was not there with me. I got back in touch with my dad, Jackie, when I was older. I had lived in such a horrible poverty mindset and a terrible relationship with my mom. So, it's a really bad relationship with my mom back then, guys. And I'm still here loving her, and she's still here loving me. However we could do it, it's not sustainable for much longer because the trauma keeps coming up and up. But damn, my mom changed her whole life. So have I. But now I can really understand this non-linear thinking and why the trauma, the complex trauma. Working so hard to get into nursing school only to walk right out of nursing school. Having to really learn to accept and love myself and love myself and love myself. Not knowing that I was autistic or neurodivergent at all. Just thinking I was fighting chemo, cancer, fighting obesity, fighting bloodline patterns of abuse. Having to fight all the time, protect, care for. Why am I being so vulnerable? Because this is it. I live this. I am just learning how to be soft again. I've had to be strong and hard my whole life. I'm totally protected in doing this. I thought it was spirituality. I thought I had to get online and do tarot. I do have to do that, to do my light work. I said, God save me. I'll be a vessel of light. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Not knowing that my sense of justice was really helping my manifestation, helping staying alive. Yeah, I wanted to stay alive. I wanted to live. Can't tell you how many times I ran from Isaiah. Fought for my life. For real, for real. Damn. And it's a blessing that I'm here. And so I don't, people have seen me down, black eyes, years and years, people have seen me obese with black eyes. Seen us with holes in our clothes. Wearing the same hand-me-downs they gave me 2 years before. Learn fashion from the thrift store. Learn love from the people on the corner at the store. At Park Home, from the people in the Boys and Girls Club, from the people on the streets, from people my dad used to drink with, everyday people. Everybody in those buildings knew him, took me in. I used to be in and out of those apartments with cookies or this or that. But he was not behind closed doors. He was an addict. It's 2 different personalities. So people say, you're a warrior. Yeah, I am. And just learning these different neurotype, and coming full circle to a place where I feel open to receive the teachings of my ancestors. I feel open to receive the love of my ancestors. Being told, come back over here, my mom's. This wasn't the right place for me to come back to. I should have known better, but I had some last things to shed. I gotta go. I gotta get out of here soon. But I can't put I don't want to force my daughter, nothing like that. I gotta be independent. Gotta do it on my own. Gotta keep going. And I'm gonna do that by keep on walking and coming to work and putting these videos out. These are personal vlogs so that you can see, like, this is my truth. It's the path that I walked, guys. And I think a lot of it's like I've never known so many neurodivergent people are okay with talking like this openly, like without their ego, just to share with other people. Hey, like so many neurodivergent girls like would follow bands and stuff because of the music and the ability to be free. And that's why I used to get involved too, like with the hip-hop scene or whatever. Like I would be such a supporter to my friends if they made art or if they made music or anything. I was in drama and theater, but I never felt the love or worthy enough. Besides writing, I always wrote. I had to explode out of me. But I would always support the arts so much and be so inspired by anything, all things new, and everybody's ability to express themselves in new and diverse ways. And that's one of my biggest things. Creativity for the activation of more and more people. I'm so proud to be a vessel of light for that. And I couldn't have understood the magnitude of my power until I understood my energy work, my spiritual work, and every experience I've ever had through the scope of being neurodivergent. And this is wonderful. This is like the cherry on top. So I'm gonna go to work. I've got a low battery. This is just like really long. I know not everybody will watch this. It's alright. So, nobody can take your story from you. No. Nobody can flip it upside down and make it theirs. I just feel like this is important to record and say, like, I've been having to do this. So if anybody's like, why are you qualified, or what do you think, or if anybody wants to know anything like more about me and what I've endured and the type of energy work and the type of just grit. I've been in and out of inpatient programs for dual dependency. I've survived addiction. I've survived extreme abuse, homelessness. And I just feel so blessed to be here, guys, that we've aligned. And I wanted to share more of myself. I just do it anyway, right? So, Carol, I'm first and foremost always talking to myself. So, I'll come back and watch this. We're alone now. And I'm telling the story to you. I love you guys. Bye.